CJ Hicks has a clear path to consistent playing time, but that doesn't mean anything is guaranteed.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to your Tuesday edition of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. During today's show, we will dive into an offensive lineman that is fighting to get on the field, as well as a guy on defense that the Buckeyes desperately need to step up. But first, CJ Hicks' move to the edge might be the best thing that's happened in his Buckeye career. He's finally playing a position that's going to allow him to showcase his entire skill set. Yeah, he came to Ohio State to be an off-ball linebacker. That didn't work out like he thought it was going to. He had to wait his turn and caused a little bit of frustration. And then not having a lot of game reps playing off the edge caused some more frustration a year ago. Well, you can throw that out the window. You've been in Larry Johnson's room for a while. You get into practice and do all the things you need to do to excel off the edge. And Hicks' new position is great for him. It's great for the Buckeyes defense. And while there's a clear path for Hicks and some obvious passing downs to go out there and rush the passer, he's going to have to go out there and seize every moment because nothing is guaranteed. Even if something is clearly right there for you, can look and see the end result. There are going to be some things you got to do to make sure the end result actually happens. And for CJ Hicks right now, he's looking around in the locker room and in the D-line room and looking and seeing, well, I know Caden Curry, I know K-Jack, and I know Jason Moore, I know Joshua Mickens, and I know Zion Grady. Like, I know these guys. These guys are good. They got some unique things and unique traits that make them very good football players. But he's also looking around and looking at Bo Atkinson. We have detailed and talked about a lot this offseason. But he's also looking around and seeing Logan George, the Idaho State transfer from the FCS level. And when you hear Idaho State and FCS, you may be thinking, Jay, he's out of his league because that man not coming into Ohio State and immediately getting on the field, maybe even in a backup role. Not so fast, my friends. I don't think that young man came to Ohio State to just simply ride the pod, sit on the sidelines, watch everybody else play. No, I think he came in to be a depth piece for the Buckeyes off the edge. Well, Hicks is right there competing with him for those reps. And for CJ Hicks, you got to go out there and just take the opportunity. Take the playing time. Don't go back and forth in reps and, oh, he beat me here. No. This ain't that. You got to go out there and take it. Nothing is guaranteed. It's just football. This is a tough sport. This is a very physical and grueling game you're playing. So that alone is going to tell you, man, it ain't guaranteed. You got to go out there and take it. You got to go out there and win it. A quarterback that you're chasing down, think that sack is guaranteed just because, oh, you're running after him? No. You got to go out there and take it. And for CJ Hicks right now, you got to go out there and take the opportunity, man. Don't let somebody else come in here and take your reps. Don't let somebody come into your home and try to be buddy-buddy with you, which is going to be, but try to soften you up and then take your playing time. No. Go out there and take it. Logan George, I think Logan George is going to be a good player. Bo Atkinson, I think is going to be really, really good. Caden Curry and K-Jack, they're going to be good too. You know who else is going to be good this year? CJ Hicks. Go out there and take it. Take those reps. It's your time to shine. And I was recently talking to a basketball coach in the basketball league, and it was an interview with him and a player that he brought to the team in the middle of the season. And the player was talking about what it was like for him to be a part of the Kokomo Bobcats and the transition from not being on the team to how he got on the team to playing with his new teammates. And he said that Chan talked to him and said, man, you got to go out there and take it. And when the first time you hear your coach say, you got to go out there and take it, you might be confused or scratching your head and wondering, does he think what I think he means? And Jalen Stamps detailed about that conversation happening another time. And then the second time it happened, he said, "Oh, I know what you mean. I got to go out there and take it." And the rest is history. And I use that, and I think about Hicks' opportunity right now with Jalen Stamps' opportunity he had with the Kokomo Bobcats this year, where Hicks is not on a new team. He's in a new room. He's playing a new position where he hasn't played consistently. So if he goes out there against Texas or against Grambling or against Ohio or against fill in the blank school in the fall, in the first half of the season, maybe saying, Jay, is he going to go out there and take it? He needs to. Is he going to make mistakes? Absolutely. Is that okay? Yes. Mistakes are going to happen. Now, it's the kind of mistake you're making. I can excuse some mistakes because they're going to happen. But if you're jumping off sides, illegal hands to the face, roughing the passer, that stuff, nah. Now, some of that roughing the passer stuff, let's keep it in context, it's not truly roughing the passer. Some of the ways that people officiate is very, very soft. I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of annoying to watch football sometimes and to see not only the treatment quarterbacks get, but just some of the stuff that's called in general. I never thought that would happen in this sport, but it's happening over and over and over again. So, yes, everybody knows a player is going to make mistakes. Julian Sand's going to make mistakes. Mylan Graham's going to make mistakes. CJ Hicks is going to make mistakes as well. Mistakes are going to happen, but you can't let a mistake derail you from the task at hand, which is seizing the opportunity and taking the opportunity right in front of you and maximizing what's right there for you to take. Just take it, man. Now, that's a phrase that you may say, Jay, is that a little crazy to say to a player? No, not at all. Because I believe when Chandler Livingston-Simon said that to Jalen Stamps in a basketball practice, I guarantee that Jalen Stamps the first time he knew what he was saying, he was like, man, I don't know if you know what you're talking about. But the second time, he knew exactly what he was saying. Just capture the moment. It's easier said than done, though. Because Hicks has been trying to do that his entire career. I mean, from the day he stepped on campus, his goal was be a Buckeye, play linebacker, to start, to be developed, and to be a dog on the field. But what did he have to do? Wait his turn. Because if you think about what Hicks had to deal with in his time at Ohio State, it was a Tommy Eichenberg, a Steel Chambers going from running back to linebacker. It was Cody Simon waiting his turn and then staying an extra year at Ohio State. It's Arvell Reese, who progressed and played a really good ball last year in a backup role. He had to deal with a lot. And so for CJ Hicks, this is his moment. Take it. Take advantage of the move in your career for the position that is the best spot for you in the National Football League. And you think that a consistent playing time is guaranteed, which is not. One of us also not guaranteed a spot in the National Football League. Because as I look right now at Hicks' numbers, I don't have the number of starts right in front of me. But in his 3 years at Ohio State, he's played in 40 games. He's played at least 12 games in every year that he's been a Buckeye. 36 tackles, 3 TFLs. He has 2 sacks and 1 pass breakup. What is that? Those are numbers of a guy that didn't play a lot of ball, that has played some games, been in special team situations, but he's going to have to go smooth off this year to make a name for himself to potentially be drafted into the National Football League. It can happen, and the best way for it to happen is for CJ Hicks to go out there and take those reps, take those snaps, and take the opportunity in front of him, take it serious, and go out there and be a dog on the field. There's another guy on defense that the Buckeyes desperately need to be a dog on the field for that unit to be all it can be. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, guys, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. It's your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared accounts and personal accounts. You can set goals and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code Locked On College at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code Locked On College for half off your first year. Thank you all for tapping in Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. I am looking forward to watching CJ Hicks play the football in the fall and to seeing what he does off the edge, where we got a glimpse of that a year ago, but what he could be off the edge. There are some times where he was a little frustrated because he wasn't getting a lot of reps and he wasn't on the edge as much as he would like to be. That's great. I understand that. There's a guy also out there that needs to take advantage of the opportunity right in front of him and just sees the day, and his name is Jason Moore. Jason Moore came to Ohio State with a lot of hype surrounding his name. He is now one of the backup defensive tackles at Ohio State. He's beefed up. He has worked on a skill set. He has worked to put it all together, and they needed him to do it right now. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to happen. Because one thing Ohio State did this year, or didn't do this year, is land a guy in the portal, either in the winter or in the spring portal session, that would play. And I paused because they didn't land a defensive tackle at all. I'm looking at the roster right now, and some of the guys that are going to be in the rotation: Caden McDonald, Edric Houston, Will Smith Jr., Jason Moore, Tywone Malone Jr., maybe Eric Mensa. Is he sixth D tackle in that room? That's a maybe. But with those first five names that I mentioned, the top two guys are the guys that have played the most. They've already kind of made a name for themselves, kind of carved out their own road and path to consistent playing time as starters for the Buckeyes this year. For Jason Moore, I'm sure he thought this year was going to be his year to be a starter when Edric Houston came to Ohio State to be a defensive end. The next thing you know, homie looks like he put on about 30 pounds of muscle. He's out there on the field playing very good as a true freshman on the interior. And you're thinking, man, Jason Moore, that's your spot. That's where you're supposed to be. And there was just a guy that came behind you that's better. Very similar to CJ Hicks and Alvaro Reese, where Hicks was the older guy, but Arvell Reese was just better. And for James Laurinaitis and Jim Knowles, they did the wise thing. They played the better player at that position. Jason Moore can see all this and allow that to get into his head. Allow his mentals to get a little shaky and to get a little off, because you look out there and you see a youngster in front of you, right in front of you. I think you're both going to be three techs in Houston and Jason Moore. And that could be a little demoralizing. Not going to lie to you. I mean, I've been there in situations in high school where my senior year, the new coach, we had a new head coach on the football team, and he was actually a previous receivers coach and OC for a couple years. I want to say, I'm not going to say his name. I will. Scott Fisher was there for 2 or maybe 3 years while I was as a position coach, a coordinator. And then my senior year, he came in, took over for Coach Barthel, who went to coach his boys at a nearby private school. And Scott Fisher did what a coach is going to do when he's trying to make a name for himself. He played younger players. He said, why would I play an older guy that's even with the sophomore? So if you're a senior and there's a sophomore where you guys are even, neck and neck, Scott Fisher's thinking the long haul. How can I, in the next couple of years, build this roster to be the best it can be so that when the sophomores or seniors, we can have a shot to make a deep tournament run? And so my senior year, there were a lot of sophomores and juniors that played over seniors that should have played. But what did Scott Fisher do? He decided to make a move to where he played the guy that was even with the other player skill level and production, but was a little bit younger. And for Jason Moore, I think Edric Houston's better, but also he's coming in and realizing Ryan Day's not going nowhere, and Ryan Day realizes the same thing Scott Fisher does as a coach. if I got two guys that are the same skill level, same path, let's say they're both B players at one point in time in the offseason, why wouldn't I play the younger player? I'm going to get more out of him in longevity than I would the guy that's older. And Jason Moore is sitting here thinking, man, should I transfer? Should I go somewhere else? Should I look elsewhere? Should I go back to the East Coast where I'm from? What should I do? Oh, no. Stick it out. Stay where you are. Things going to be A-okay. But you got to take it, man. That would be the theme of the day. I didn't realize that when I was putting the show together, but you just got to go out there and take it. What is it? Playing time. Somebody else's reps. The opportunity in front of you, which is to be a bigger piece of the Buckeyes defense, where outside of Houston and McDonald, nobody's proven themselves. So you can go out there and take that too. Take the opportunity to prove yourself and to showcase your skills and to say, Larry Johnson, you're going to have a hard time leaving me on the sidelines because I am raising my level of play so the Buckeyes defense can be the best it can be. And so I can be a better football player for myself and for this team. I think Jason Moore is going to be a fun player to watch this year. We don't normally talk about a lot of backups on the D-line, and when we do, it's, oh, man, there's lack of depth. Or, man, McDonald and Houston will be a dynamic duo. I don't think we really touched on Jason Moore's impact in thinking his length, his size, his quickness, his hand placement, the power he possesses. He's a very athletic D-tackle, and I cannot wait to see him play in the fall. Now, this is also me thinking about what he was in high school because there isn't much film on him in college. So the growing pains that CJ Hicks is going to go through this year as a guy that's going to play off the edge, Jason Moore is going to go through those same growing pains. He may go through more, and he may go through less. But that's the nature of the beast. You're going to go through growing pains. You can't get around it. Will Howard went through them. Jeremiah Smith went through them. Caleb Downs went through them. Oh, let's go a little bit more closer to home than guys that have just been there for 1 year. Braxton Miller went through them. Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, J.K. Dobbins. Every Buckeye player has gone through growing pains. And I mentioned some of those other guys because they have been multi-year starters. Dobbins, a 2,000-yard rusher. Braxton Miller, a Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. What do these guys go through? Growing pains. For Braxton Miller, it was an injury, then a position change. For Stroud, it was just simply being a Buckeye quarterback. Early in his career, I thought Stroud was going to lose his first game that he ever started against Minnesota on the road, but he walked away with a dub. What do growing pains help you with? Being a better player, being a better human, and being all you can be. Just an all-around better individual. Moore's going to go through growing pains. Don't pause. Don't think twice. Don't think something's wrong when it happens. He's going to go through growing pains, and that is okay. What's also okay is there's a Buckeye offensive lineman that has been in a constant fight to get consistent playing time. I'll tell you who that is next. This episode is brought to you by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, taking pride in what you build, and practicing every detail to get the best results. But no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier. At Epicor, the all-stars are the hard-working manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices. Epicor ERP solutions are created by industry experts to help make every day easier. Seeing your whole supply chain is easier. Managing logistics is easier. Responding to price changes is easier. From small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global vision, we'll equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way. Because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most of every hard-working minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier takes the lead. Discover your success at www.easierwithepicor.com. That's www.easierwithepicor.com. Thank you all for tapping in Locked on Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. One thing Hicks and Jason Moore have in common is that they're trying to capture and seize a moment right in front of them. For CJ Hicks, there's a clear path for this young man to get consistent playing time, but it's definitely not guaranteed. For Jason Moore, he is needed to step up because there's a lack of depth in the D tackle position, but also that lack of depth opens up a massive opportunity for Jason Moore to take advantage of. The last guy on our list for the day doesn't really fit the description of the other two guys, where I think Hicks and Moore are definitely going to play. I don't currently see a guy in Josh Padilla being a consistent starter for Ohio State in the fall. My gut tells me if the first Buckeye game was this Saturday, the starting offensive line would be this: left tackle Ethan Ananwa, starting left guard Luke Montgomery, starting center Carson Hinsman, starting right guard Tigger Shabola, and starting right tackle Austin Serveld. Where does that leave Josh Padilla? Backing up Carson Hinsman, who at the end of the day might be a better guard than center. But with this group of five this year, I believe Hinsman is the best option at center. And for a lot of guys out there, you're entering year 3. You have done a lot of good things in a backup role. You showed some promise. It was in the Tennessee game last year in the playoff. You get out there in a again, it was a beatdown, and you showcase, hey, I'm not going to stop at the whistle. I'm going through the echo of the whistle, and I'm going to put you into the ground. I remember looking at Josh Padilla and saying, man, I can't wait for that man to get on the field. And I was literally in my head thinking in the moment, well, it ain't going to happen next year. So I was looking out there on the team. Hinsman's coming back. Montgomery's coming back. Shabola's coming back. Servo's coming back. All 4 of those guys were pivotal, and I don't believe Ohio State would have won the national championship if those 4 guys did not step up to the plate and capture the moment that was right in front of them a year ago. But for Josh Padilla, keep fighting, keep grinding, and keep your head right. And I believe Josh Padilla will. Now, I use the word fight with this young man because he was a state champion wrestler in high school. And so wrestling and fighting, they kind of go hand in hand, even though one is truly in a true sense of a wrestling match. It's controlled. You're not trying to beat somebody to smithereens, maybe. Where in fighting, there really may not be an endpoint for some people. They might be trying to beat you down to the ground until you can't breathe anymore. And I don't think it's what he's thinking, or it's not what I'm thinking at all with the fight that he's in, where he's going to fight till the end. No, I definitely think he's going to play. It just won't happen this year. That's a sad thing to hear for a guy that's good enough to play college football right now as a starter. What am I basing that off of? Some of the game film I've seen from him, I think, would be great at some schools if he were able to start right now. I think he could play at the G5 level. Yeah, Boise State. Yeah, of course. Some of the upper echelon G5 schools or G6 schools, I would 100% think that this young man could end up being a consistent starter. But he's choosing to stay at Ohio State with the new offensive line coach, with a new offensive coordinator and play caller. That may push some guys away, not just the skill positions or the quarterbacks. There are times that an offensive lineman, even if the same O-line coaches are there, new coordinators may cause you to think, man, I don't like this new system. I don't like what he's talking about. I don't like this or that. I'm going somewhere else. And Josh Padilla has had numerous opportunities to go elsewhere. But what has he done? Stuck it out. Said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to wait my turn. Very similar to CJ Hicks and also very similar to Cody Simon. If you think back to Cody Simon, I believe it was in the 2022 season, maybe 2021, but definitely the 2022 season, where it was Steel Chambers, Tommy Eichenberg, and Cody Simon. Eichenberg played great ball. Steel Chambers stepped up. Cody Simon was kind of in the back a little bit, but there were times that he was the better linebacker in 2023. I don't think there's any debate that says that Cody Simon was the better linebacker for Ohio State in numerous portions of that season. But 2024 was a year for Cody Simon to just go off, be a phenomenal all-around linebacker, a great linebacker for college. That was Cody Simon, but what did he have to do? wait his turn. And as someone that doesn't like to wait at all, I'm getting better at being patient. One thing my dad has talked to me about that's helped him throughout his marriage is learning patience. And my uncle Robert, I haven't talked about him in maybe ever on this show. My uncle Robert grew up, lived in South Bend when I was younger. Married to my aunt Wilma, and then they had two boys, RJ and Emmanuel. And Uncle Robert was a very, very, very patient person. And I look back now, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. I look back at his life and think about his marriage and his boys, and some of the numerous times I was at his house, and I'm thinking, man, how? How? I've seen this man be in situations where the average person wouldn't be patient. The average person wouldn't be calm. The average person would just let the situation take over their actions. But homie just calm, cool, collected. I mean, he did have a paddle in his above the fridge, and he said, "Don't make me get that down." And it wasn't one of them threats that's like yelling at you. It's literally like, "Don't make me get that down." And you know when you got one of them uncles that says something simple and calm, don't make me get that down. And my mom was in the house. My parents were there. My parents, what they going to like? My mom was one that, yes, there were times that if you're a relative, you could punish the kid, and it happened. So, like, I wasn't a bad kid, but it was kind of them checks and balances, and the adults are definitely adults. And if you messed up, you're going to get punished. Uncle Robert's patience was huge. And I think about that with a Josh Padilla situation where not only could have gone to the portal, he could have become a cancer in the locker room. I mean, think about Padilla last year, where he literally saw Tegor Shabola struggle. Austin Serveld play hurt. He saw Josh Simmons goes down. He saw Zen Mahalski goes down. He saw Donovan Jackson goes out to left tackle. Carson Henson comes in for left guard. He saw McLaughlin goes down. Hinsby goes to center. Servo goes to left guard. And then in the playoff, you're rotating three guys at two positions in the playoff. And Josh Padilla is seeing all of this and being the ultimate team player. But then for this year, knowing that you're about to enter year 3, and you're still behind Hinsman, Shabola, Serveld, Montgomery, just in that room. It's a task, and it's something that's in your head where you're trying to overcome this. Is a task that's very, very difficult. But what do we learn about this young man? He is a fighter, he is a grinder, and he's going to wait his turn. He learned from Cody Simon. He learned from other guys that are Buckeyes that if you just practice patience, it's tough, y'all, but we all know patience is a virtue. We've heard it our entire lives. We're going to keep on hearing it every single day that patience is key. It's key for Padilla. He's going to be consistently fighting for playing time. And I can't wait to see what happens when he gets that opportunity to get consistent playing time. Because that young man is going to tap into his former wrestling days to take boys down. I think he's the kind of anchor at center you need. His build, his mindset, his playing style. I think it's going to be a fun thing to watch for the Buckeyes in the future. I just don't think it's going to be something we're going to watch this year. Thank y'all for tapping in Locked on Buckeyes and making this show your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the portal because my guy Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the portal on the YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317 at gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes right here on a Tuesday. We'll see you next time.